Come a long way, my friend. Across oceans, deserts. Seen things few men have seen.
The Fuhrer still will believe.
The end is in sight.
I'm Nicolas Cage and I fought the Turks.
That was your Nicolas Cage.
Hey, you know what? I think I did better than he did in this movie because all right, you know what? I'm being unfair because I haven't even seen it. I just saw the trailer, but it seems like, okay, what are they, in the 14th century? Right.
It does look like another one of those movies where everybody's doing an accent except the main star,
Right.
Because he's getting paid too much. He's not
No,
even trying.
No, believe it or not, nobody really is. This is
Nobody
one
at
of these
all.
ones that they were smart enough to say, fuck it.
No, this is somebody taking their video camera to the Renaissance Fair and just shooting whatever people they can get to make a movie.
All right, now stop me if I'm wrong, because I've only seen the trailer, but to me, I got the impression that somebody took that little that origin sequence from The Sorcerer's Apprentice and just fleshed it out. Like, well, here's the further adventures of Nicolas Cage's character.
No, you know what it is, actually. You remember the scene of Monty Python and the Holy Grail? The whole, she's a witch burner!
Yeah.
It's that, the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Throw in a little bit of a dash of Army of Darkness because honestly, throughout the whole beginning of this movie, I was waiting for Ash to start attacking castles with his chainsaw.
And, you know, it's funny. Like, it actually has that look in some ways, and I think it's a budgetary thing because it's just like, okay, it's the Middle Ages, it's medieval times, and there's evil everywhere, but it feels like Army of Darkness. Like, okay, that's a projection screen in the back.
No, it really does.
Styrofoam castle.
The first 5 minutes, it really lets you know, okay, this isn't to be taken all that serious because the witch looks like an extra from Army of Darkness.
It's like they shot it at a medieval times restaurant.
Well, it's like at a medieval times restaurant where nobody even tried. You know, it's just like everybody refused to be in character.
Medieval times,
Well, because
Las Vegas.
Well, you had me laughing, Leon, because you're talking about like only one actor didn't try, and it's just like nobody gave a shit in this movie. It's like people came up and like, hey man, I heard you got some chick who's a witch in here, right? Hey, yeah, man. You know, it's like, does anybody really care in this film?
I'm sure we can find Camelot on my iPad.
They go into it knowing what it is. And let's face it, guys, don't think that this is going to be some sort of real film. It's a B film, and it's a B film that knows it's a B film.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, its greatest flaw is that at times it forgets here and there and wants to be serious. And you're like, you know what? When you're a B film, you're actually working for me. It's when you want to have like everybody calm down and build drama and like emotional background that we go, will you please shut up and get back to the silliness?
You know what? The movie definitely felt like I could see somebody trying to film a serious, because especially when you told me who the director was.
Yeah, Dominique Sena.
Yeah, the director and his past works, where I was like, okay, this feels like somebody tried to do a serious film, and then the studio saw it and they're like, okay, this is god awful. Who's hanging around right now? Hey, you ever made movies? Yeah. What's your favorite movie? Army of Darkness. All right. How about you go in and like you got about 10 shots that you can do right now that we have money for. Go and shoot whatever you can. And it looks like they did that, and they sprinkled in to this movie that at some points, it does give you the sense that it tried to be serious.
Well, if there was ever a movie that they really should have paid Sam Raimi to come do, it is this.
Easily.
Because if he had directed this would have been so much fun. It really would have. I mean, because like he would have gone in and saying, look, there's no way you're going to make a serious film out of this, so you might as well just make it as goofy as you possibly can.
And Dominic Sena, he's the guy that did movies like Swordfish.
Yeah,
California.
Yeah. He has a very sporadic career, but not one I would particularly say is that strong. And this is nothing he's going to be writing on his resume. It's like his greatest hits.
Man, once you direct a video for Rhythm Nation, I mean, it's all downhill from there.
Oh, that's right. He did do that. He did a lot of Janet Jackson stuff.
He did all the videos for Rhythm Nation, apparently.
So this movie was like a medieval Rhythm Nation.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, you can only wish.
So Janet Jackson, like
Satan, Lucifer, if you're nasty.
I know. So like Janet Jackson, titty didn't fall out. Everybody's like, she's a witch.
No, but you know what? I will say this: the witch did kind of look like LaToya Jackson.
Only when she was all witched out.
On her period.
Yeah. But we haven't even talked about what this is actually about, aside from witches and Nicolas Cage. And it's funny because when this first started, I was kind of with it because it shows Nicolas Cage and Ron Perlman, who you're like, well, that's an interesting team up. This could be fun. Like as knights in the Crusades who are so badass that they're discussing who's going to buy drinks while they're slaughtering Saracens and Muslims and stuff. And, and, like they're like totally casual. Like there's no chance they're not going to walk out of this because they're just that badass.
One of them is checking their iPhone while they're killing people.
If they had iPhones, yeah, I'm sure they totally would have.
In this movie, I can't believe they didn't.
Why not? There's a point you would just go, you know what? I don't think anybody would have said it.
Well, Ron Perlman was going through this movie like thinking he was still Hellboy.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's what we want to see him play, that braggadocio, that like type of character. And honestly, you're kind of liking the two of them together. You're like, okay, these two are kind of funny. I like this. There comes a point that they realize that, you know what, this guy who's kind of like the church cheerleader who's just standing behind him going, kill them all, let God sort them out with a big cross, that he's kind of a dick. And that, like, you know, the whole kill them all, let God sort them out thing isn't really a logical premise to go by when you're massacring like cities full of women and children.
Even though it's funny as hell.
Yeah. So they say, fuck this, we're out of here. We're leaving. This isn't our deal. We're like fans of God. We're not fans of you. So they're walking along and they get caught because they're deserters technically. And so they're put into a situation where this dying priest who was that Max von Sydow?
I couldn't tell if that was I couldn't tell if that was Max von Sydow.
Oh, no, it was Christopher Lee.
I'm about to say because he looked like Two-Face almost.
Yeah.
He's so covered in makeup you just cannot tell.
No, well, there's a plague going around that makes everyone look like the Elephant Man.
Yeah, exactly. Him especially, and I guess that was in his contract. You got to make me unrecognizable.
Okay. So far, this sounds like a Bob Hope and Bing Crosby road movie.
Well, you know what? That would have made it better. But they get blackmailed. Like, look, we'll let you guys go free, and all charges dropped, and yada yada. If you help us transport this witch to a not terribly nearby cathedral where they will decide her fate. Which, you know, given the times and the way the movie starts, like, you know,
it's like you're gonna die.
You're like, really? Can't you just do that here? I mean, I'm not really sure why we have to go
like, and the other thing is like, oh, she's gonna get a fair trial. Oh yeah, this day and age, she's gonna get a fair trial. Really?
Right. So you've got Nicolas Cage, Ron Perlman, the priest, some local guy. They get to be their guide who was from Snatch.
Yeah,
I can't remember the actor's name. Stephen Grant. They've got some young guy who shows up who wants to be a knight and joins their team.
He's the red shirt.
Yeah, and you know, it's one by one they're getting picked off along the way. And maybe I kept, you know, this might be more interesting if they gave us some doubt about whether or not this woman was really a witch.
They show you the trailer
right early on. They're showing her do, you know, little Elizabeth Montgomery.
I mean, what she's got. I mean, they talk about you. You can't really guess because doesn't she have like demons flying out of her ass and things like that? I mean,
I don't think that. Maybe that was in the director's cut. Maybe that was one of those things they showed the trailer.
Blowing out torches and relighting them. Like, you know, she's got big power or something.
Well, the thing is, everything that we can everything that we're imagining right now would have actually made this movie a whole lot better. Only because, there's some moments where it's just genuinely fun, and that has a lot to do with Ron Perlman and Nicolas Cage. They're awful banter going back and forth because all these lines seem like just one-liners almost.
Well, they sell them though.
And they do. Yeah, and they do, and that's the best part of the movie. That's the only part that's really keeping you intrigued, you know. And every once in a while they'll run into like these Mighty Morphin werewolf that, you know, comes out of nowhere where you're like, okay, this is cool, but thing is, you want to see more of that. You know, you really want them to take it to that next level of Army of Darkness because at that point, you know, and that's the thing. I mean, they could have. I mean, hey, that didn't stop.
Went to Party Pig, and there were 3 werewolf masks, and that's all they could do.
Hey, that never stopped Sam Raimi. Come on.
They found some.
He didn't have fucking ILM working on Army of Darkness.
They found some werewolf masks and put them on cocker spaniels.
That's
Go
not
get
what
them.
they manufacture the drama like that because it's like, okay, well, this could be fun. I mean, they keep setting it up for like, wow, this is actually pretty creepy. They're going through the woods called Wormwood, and you're like, oh, this can't be good.
Who named this place?
I know. It's like a fog rolling in, so they can't see anything.
Wormwood, ain't that what they make that drink out of?
Absinthe.
Absinthe, yeah.
But you know,
and it didn't help that you saw a guy, like, old man with a sign going, "You do."
I know,
You
right?
do.
Wolves attacking them.
And the wolves for no reason at all. Like they're wolves. That's bad enough, right? Already, like a pack of wolves coming at you, okay. But then they keep doing these close-up of the wolves where their faces suddenly change and get, I don't know, more wolfy.
Yeah, it looked like the morphing scene from the Michael Jackson black or white video.
This sounds crazy. You were telling me that they have wolves that turn into werewolves.
No. They have wolves that turned into Macaulay Culkin.
Wolves that just get more
A
wolfy.
wolf that changed into a fox and then into a timber wolf and then into a bear.
It's like a wolf that becomes mega wolf or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like Battle Cat.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
It's like Battle Cat.
Into the Battle Cat. Gotcha.
And then there's like a scene where they're like crossing this old rickety bridge and they have to push they're like, oh, I don't know if we'll make it. We got to go across one at a time. Then we got to move this huge fucking thing that they've got the witch inside of across it. And the thing is, we've seen the bridge, right? It's not like it's that steep of a thing on either side, but they make it so like, oh God, I don't know if we'll make it in time. Like it's almost impossible. And the two horses that have been pulling it for the whole movie can't pull it across the bridge. And they're actually tilting the camera so it looks like it's a steep incline. That's the trip they do. Like, wait, I just saw where you showed what it looked like. Come on, man. This movie's for people with short attention spans, to say the least.
Oh,
Man, you know what? I've heard nothing but bad things about this movie, but you guys are making it sound like so much fun. Like if
You are. You're making it like there's a part of me that's going like, God, I kind of want to see this and enjoy it, and yet there's that other half of my brain that's going like, no, you didn't hear. Don't you heard the keywords in here that's gonna make this stupid?
Well,
and you're not gonna. Have fun.
you make it sound like if I went in there with some medieval ale, drank it from
We're not talking
like a
butterbeer.
wooden mug and something when I'm sitting in there hanging out with some Vikings or something. I might have fun with this.
If you go sit with a buddy and you're having some beers, you probably would actually have a good time watching this. And it has moments that are genuinely fun. There's a huge battle at the end that I admit was cool as shit.
No, it was cool. I mean, and that's where then it turned into an episode of He-Man.
Yeah, totally did.
Where I was like, all right, I'm with it. I mean, it's the point where either people going in there hoping to see somewhat of a fun, serious movie. That's the point where it almost can get way too cheesy. But it actually helped. I mean, it helped that they really just said, okay, look, we know this is fucking retarded, and we're just gonna go all the way. We might as well right now. We're gonna give you some spectacle. All right, you paid your money. We're gonna give you spectacle, and they actually did.
I wonder how much better it would be if they had a narrator who would actually come out, break the fourth wall, and go like, all right, enough of that silliness. Now let's get to something that's fun.
Yeah.
Good evening. This shit is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
We know. So you know what we decided? We said, fuck it. We're going to throw in the Frankenstein and the Mummy. Come on in, guys. We're
This
gonna,
is all stuff you really want to
we're
see.
just going to go crazy.
They really should have thrown some ash lines at Nicolas Cage. Just said, "Hey, deliver these lines. Like, let's do this." You know,
Yeah. Groovy.
yeah, groovy,
Give
something
me some
cool
sugar,
like
baby.
that.
Which
Yeah.
sounds like Nicolas Cage lines to begin with.
Yeah.
The thing is, like we were saying earlier, Nicolas Cage and
Ron Perlman.
Perlman are the best things about this film.
Mhm.
They are fun together on screen. In fact, I hate to say it, but despite what happens towards the end, this makes me want to see more movies with the two of these guys buddied up together because they play off each other great.
Is that the witch?
That's not what I see.
The priest said she confessed.
We both know the church can be most persuasive. I am sorry I put you into this, Wilson.
As dungeons go. This one's not so bad. We spent nights in much worse places than this. At least I have. What is that smell?
That would be you.
I serve the church no more.
Did you see the priest's face? Looked like someone pissed in his holy water.
Now, would
They
you want to
do.
see them as these characters or just in a movie together?
Either.
as cops.
on the edge.
They could just make a series of movies. Like the next movie, they'll be cowboys together. Then the one after that, they'll be cops in the 70s.
Or medieval cowboy cops. I could do that. That'd be fucking cool.
You know, if there was ever a bad film that still deserves a prequel film, it's this one. I would totally love to see the earlier adventures of these guys. Just play it more for laughs, though. Make it bloodier, make it funnier, and just have a good time.
There'll be a couple of Highlanders who just live throughout every time.
Well, you know, sorry, and co-host, I hear that about this movie. The complaints are that they should have played it up more for laughs, or played up the humor, or just somehow made it slightly more self-referential. They said had they not made it too goofy, but actually just made it to where lets the audience know, because I think that's a problem. They don't let the audience know enough how much they probably aren't taking this seriously. If they had just pushed that a little bit more, this movie could have actually seemed probably a little smart.
That's the real problem with the movie. It's very uneven. It definitely seemed like a lot of the funner parts were done in post. To be honest, it really felt like some of the scenes were reshot just to make it a more digestible film. But just that alone, it is still a fun film. I mean, I'll go ahead and give my rating. I think this is like a fun rental.
Yeah.
And I say that in the best sense.
Yeah.
But just a rental only because, I think you get a much more enjoyment watching it at home with your buddies than you would paying a lot of money to go see it in a theater where you really can't shout out the screen because you actually want to.
You actually took the words exactly out of my mouth. I mean, it's one of those things like people always focus too much on the ratings and whatever that means to them. Oh, that translates to me as 2 stars. Or that means automatically it's a rental, it's terrible. Or if it's a matinee,
stop thinking too hard. Yeah.
Whatever. You're thinking too hard about it. When we say rental in this case, we're actually encouraging you to rent it. We're saying, oh, yeah, don't bother with the theater. There's no reason to. But yeah, when it comes out on DVD, it's totally a rental because it is kind of fun. It's not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah,
it's not even like going to be a classic among bees. But you know what? Yeah, I think generally speaking, if this sounds what we said so far like it might be your kind of thing, it probably is.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. You definitely make me want to see this. Not enough to run out to the theater and see it. No, hell no. But you make it sound like it's fun. And you know, I got to say it. I know everybody saying, man, you always talk about this guy's hair, but it in this one, I just gotta mention. I mean, it just is it just in more movies they're just not giving a shit what kind of wig to put on top of
actually, I think his hair's looking really great.
Yeah, I gotta say, just look at the trailer. You know what? Looking at him here, I completely forgot about that he was wearing a wig.
I did during this film too. It's one of those ones where you were like, okay, we all know he doesn't have any real hair left. I mean, he can't, right? But you didn't think about it here. It looked normal.
All I thought about was, man, where in the hell do you find Pro V in the medieval ages? Like, wow, this guy's using something. He's not using just grapes and berries.
I think he's scraping off of a pig's bladder or something.
I can tell you what he's using. He's using that mop in the corner that the janitor ain't using at the moment.
What? Yeah,
sorry, he was all chopped up. I just heard you laugh at the end.
Yeah, I'm laughing at my own joke. Hey, don't worry about it. Hey, guys, don't worry about it. It was fun. Trust me.
These men are prepared for battle.
They have to get in line behind me.
She'll turn one man against another.
They must be punished.
Let's finish this.
We're gonna need more holy water.